Welcome to Totally Talent Podcast by HR.com, your go-to source for all things talent. Whether you're looking for expert insights on high-volume hiring, the latest trends in recruitment technology, or strategies for building a winning team, we've got you covered. Join us for each episode as we dive deep into the challenges and opportunities shaping the talent landscape today. Let's get started.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Totally Talent here on HR.com. I'm your host, Mike Wood, and the guy waving to your screen is Paul Rubenstein of Visier. Hi, Paul. How are you?
I'm great, Mike. Good morning and greetings from Visier headquarters here in my new adopted home of Vancouver, British Columbia.
I've heard about Vancouver many times. I've seen lots of pictures of the outdoors places that you can go there. I one day hope to go to Vancouver. I hear it's a wonderful place, but I'm glad that you have settled down there because it seems like this utopia that's out there.
I mean, it's definitely a nice place to live. It's been wild because we've had FIFA here, and our
Oh, yeah.
office is next to the stadium. And it's just been like the energy is insane when a city is taken over by FIFA like that.
Yeah, so I'm in the Boston area, and
Oh,
we have FIFA. Actually, France is playing today against
oh my God.
Morocco at Boston Stadium, which I got to put it in quotes because Boston Stadium is really Gillette Stadium down by Foxborough, which is like a 45-minute train ride. And so I was telling some of our Scottish friends in the industry back when the Scots were playing here, I was like, just so you know that this is not really Boston; it's like the suburbs.
Right? Friends of mine said, "Oh my, we're going to San Francisco for World Cup." I'm like, "Yeah, ish."
Yes, you're going to the
You know,
area. Yeah.
you leave lots of commute time.
So, Paul, I'm super excited to have you on the show because people analytics, I kind of nerd out about it a little bit. I wish I was in it more, but I've been focusing more on TA. Tell me what Visier does for people.
Well, yeah, I mean, first of all, it's in an amazing run. Like you, I mean, did you ever hear what people 15 years ago? Did anyone talk about people analytics?
No, or it might have been like a hobby type of thing.
Exactly, exactly. And I was obsessed with it. And I was really interested in a problem that, quite frankly, I think I helped create when we used to do the HR transformations and we would, buy all of these different siloed systems. I was always interested in understanding the patterns that you could recognize across the different systems because, a recruiting problem isn't always a recruiting problem. It might be an employee relations problem. It might be in the engagement data. It might be in the workforce. It might be in all those places. And I was working in consulting. I spent a long time there helping transform organizations, but we were trying to solve problems related to strategy and seeing what you couldn't see with the naked eye and also help people have a discipline around sticking to a workforce strategy the same way they stick to a financial strategy. The dream was, how do you look across all of those systems in HR? And HR data is complicated, right? How do you make it simple so that you can create a rhythm of insights just like the CFO does and align lots of distributed decisions to a collective outcome? Like, that's the magic of a CFO. That's the magic of any company that's trying to be good at executing strategy. So a long time ago, I found this company named Visier. It was much smaller, and I was in love. Like, I've never fallen in love with the technology before. And I think I loved it not just because it was cool and it looked good and it was able to elegantly bring data together in a very human way. And it was more about answering questions than engineering data. Um, anyway, it was the first time I saw an investment that wasn't about the efficiency of HR, but it was about understanding patterns and really helping people outside of HR see inside to real truth about people. And that's how I fell in love with Visier. And so Visier works with all the different technologies, those that are sophisticated, like the ERPs. And quite frankly, a lot of people still have a lot of stuff on spreadsheets. And you shouldn't shame them, right? That's part of their data structure. So bring it as you are. You don't have to be an expert or a data scientist, although a lot of data scientists use us. Um, and make it easy for you to see everything in one harmonious way across the workforce. But what's even cooler is we've been in it so long that we've had such a head start on AI that um, instead of just charts and graphs, people now interrogate the data with plain language. Tell me who my high performers are. Tell me who's likely to leave, right? You want to have to go to an HR person all the time and get a chart and a graph and go for that next question. So really advanced, knowledgeable about HR, AI that answers those questions, but also for planning the workforce. So help me understand the patterns, help me predict attrition, help me understand what the business needs, so we can all make better decisions. That's Visier.
No, and I love that. So AI, let's say 2 years ago when like generative AI came out, it
Yeah.
was okay. It was like a parlor trick for a while. It was like, I can make you a poem. Great. Awesome. Thanks for that. But now it really rewards people in the HR space that are curious, that are asking those questions. Or if I was like, let's say I'm at a company that's growing and they want to
Mhm.
grow, you know, let's say 500 people over the next, couple of years or something like that. I think I could use your workforce analytics platform to help me plan which roles I need to get there based on what's already in the system.
Exactly. It's funny, like, you know who loves that? Finance. Because finance can go from guessing when a role will be closed or open to actually having a reliable predictive model, which helps them with cash flow, helps them with accruals. It helps, it makes these things more real. It helps look into the pipeline within the ATS and tell you whether the likelihood of a position actually getting filled is, right? Building models for that, or being able to deeply look at the data and understand which hiring managers are actually dropping off the best candidates or not, right? Being able to see behind the scenes. But the most important thing is to be able to tell stories in plain language to people without HR speak. And Mike, you're 100% right about AI changing the interaction models with HR, because now you don't need to be an expert. And I think that's what's interesting. And the other thing, if I may go on for a sec,
Go for it.
what a lot of people, okay, big shock. People don't actually want to talk to HR people if they don't have to. I know that
No, it's
sounds crazy
usually
to
you've
this
you've done something
audience.
wrong. It's like talking to a lawyer. You don't want.
Exactly. But you know what? HR still has to reach those people and reach in and give them good answers and give them advice. What's happened now? This is the most fascinating development for me in HR since the first like PeopleSoft systems came out, et cetera. HR was built on people to people interaction, right? Be a trusted advisor, understand the business lens and help people in the business understand social science and the expertise of HR. Then it became people to systems because you had to scale, right? Our first ATSs, our first HRISs, self service, mobile, you name it. But now we're living in a world where AI makes it and demands that HR is good at systems to systems interactions, right? So what's happened is the world of people analytics, understanding the data, has become the world of workforce intelligence. I can't just understand people, I have to understand work. And I have to take that knowledge and be able to deliver it to the agents of every other system, including the ones outside of HR, so that agents built by people who don't know HR can have that same HR wisdom that a recruiter might have given them or an HR business partner, et cetera. It's a bold new world.
Yeah, I've been talking to a lot of people over the past couple of years or so, and it seems like HR is moving. Like I know for vendors, like your buyer has shifted. And so like you're
Yeah.
more selling to the chief IT guy, the CFO, and you guys are already positioned for that because you're already
Mhm.
in with the IT people. And so it's just great for you guys. I think maybe HR might fold into that at some point. Who knows?
But
There's so much overlap.
you see an age of cooperation like you've never seen before
Yeah.
because of HR, because of AI transformation, right? There's a real challenge out there. And that is AI. and you've seen it come out. There was a great Wall Street Journal article this week, about AI not delivering the labor savings that are promised.
Mhm.
Because what we found was everybody's AI strategy was technology driven. Let's give everybody ChatGPT, let's give everybody Claude, and they found fractional labor savings. I became efficient at meeting minutes, or I became efficient in scheduling, et cetera. And the cost of AI was spent ahead of the actual ability to recover that through labor savings. And that's always been the case, right? It's like, hey, you sell me technology to save labor. And that is really under stress. I'm really worried about this, quite frankly. What I think the smart money companies are doing is they're turning around and saying, okay, it was a technology driven strategy. It should have been a business driven strategy. I need to go back and I need to understand what the tasks are. I need to reconstruct the jobs around what AI should do and what should be a human task, and really make jobs even more human. And it's from that business driven reconstruction lens that people are going to get lasting competitive advantage around cost and products, et cetera. So we're starting to see people wake up and say, you can't just throw technology onto an existing job and hope to get an ROI. I'm hopeful.
Oh, especially not now, because I honestly, I don't know where the hiring systems are gonna move, in the next year, because it's this basic logic problem that we have of now that the candidate has the easiest way to apply as possible with AI. You could just blast them out
Flooding.
there and you flood the zone.
Oh my
And
God.
I think the last figure I saw, Greenhouse admitted that they were getting 4 times as many applicants, but I would say it's even more than that now. Just because it's just logic. So, when that signal of the resume isn't as strong as it used to be, and you're flooding with that, something's got to give. So if you can give
Well,
more information,
it's an arms race though, Mike.
yeah,
Great. Like, I mean, I get it. I have empathy for the recruiters. You're getting you're getting flooded. Well, let's look at the candidate. The candidate,
yep,
how many jobs out there are fake jobs? How often do we put out jobs that are, placeholders, or we don't know if the hiring manager is actually going to hire, or they want to test the market, or, both sides are flooding the zone. To me, this is a problem that goes all the way back to workforce planning. A buddy of mine, Mark Berry, said on a podcast once, he goes, workforce planning is the Rodney Dangerfield of HR. It gets no respect, right?
yep,
But it is in many ways the most critical function for HR to revisit. I was talking to another friend, and he's like, hey, Paul, our annual workforce plan, we are redoing it twice a quarter. I'm like, all right, good. I'm just curious, why do you call it an annual workforce plan? It just looks at me as a sense of humor. But the idea that we now have to start designing jobs and work, planning and replanning the workforce, and operating it at the speed of AI, that's what hasn't gotten through everyone's head. The cycle, everybody still thinks of HR on this annual calendar. It's
yeah.
performance review time, it's benefits time, it's whatever. Be more like finance. Be responsive to the ebbs and flows of the business. Always be looking for gaps and opportunities in the data about your workforce, right? And make good decisions in a continuous fashion. Hiring up, hiring down, re-engineering, et cetera. Um, I think that there's a lot of promise, because once you do this, and the companies who do this well, and there are many manufacturing companies who do this well, right? And I think the tech companies
Yep.
and the services companies need to learn from them. The Once you do that, now HR is in a position where they are impacting financial results ahead of dealing with it. Financial results through hiring practices ahead of it showing up in the P&L.
So it's
There's
risk
nothing
management. Yeah.
there's nothing worse in a recruiter's life than seeing that we had a bad quarter, freeze hiring. Well, we knew that problem before the end of the quarter if we had mined those signals, and we could have taken action. All I'm saying is, HR, wake up, change the rhythm, take the data that's available to you, the workforce intelligence, put it into the hands of the people that really need it, the line managers, and help everybody make decisions with better data, with better frequency. Don't sit there and wait for people to ask you questions. Establish a rhythm of insights that helps shape everyday decisions.
And ask the software because you have V, so you can ask your
Oh
chatbot
my
on
God.
top of all your knowledge to say, "Hey, I'm seeing this in my hiring patterns. Can you help me figure out what could be contributing to this?" And so you could have like I use the example of I had a manager back in the past, not now, but back in the past that was awful. So everybody's had a manager. And so I ended up leaving, and almost everybody on the team ended up leaving because of her, but it took them like 3 years or something to figure out that it was her. And it
But
gave me a little validation.
that wouldn't have happened with financial data, right? You would have seen the customer that was unprofitable, et cetera. I think HR has a lot to learn from marketing, right?
Yep.
Marketing is very good at creating a digital platform that allows it to see all the data and all those moments. It's able to A/B test those moments. It's able to mine those moments and understand, was it the pricing? Was it the product? Was it the consumer? Was it the economic conditions at that time? HR can start to do the same thing when it, takes its delivery model and takes it to that next level of digital platform and is able to say, was it the program? Was it the pay? Was it the manager? Was it the employee? Was it the economic conditions at the time? And be able to take monolithic programs that are designed for sameness and tailor them so that they are actually fit for the mission and the situation that they're in. I used to say when I was in consulting, sameness does not yield greatness when it comes to talent strategy, right? You don't invest in all of the stocks in your 401k at the same rate. Unfortunately, you don't invest in your people programs for the same people all the same, right? It has to be bespoke for the return and impact and business model expectations that you're looking for.
So, this is great. I love talking to you, and, I know that you guys just had I mean, I'll sit in one of your sessions all day. I love listening about this. So, I know that you guys just have a partnership with Databricks, and so
Yeah,
I like that you're expanding your reach outside of traditional HR and more into the IT systems that people are using. So, tell me a little bit about, like, this Databricks.
sure. By the way, when I look at a Visier HR software, HR domain software, to Databricks, right, a giant in helping IT bring its data together, that to me is a metaphor of the partnership that should be between the CHRO and the CIO, right? You need to take domain expertise, data model expertise, and understanding and a composition layer where you're going to put metrics together and things, that and govern with the nuances that come along with HR data in Visier, but also the scale, reach, and the ability to combine with enterprise data that Databricks has, right? And so now you get the best of both worlds, right? You get broad capabilities with domain expertise, and they're not in competition with each other. They're in collaboration with each other. They complement each other, the two technologies, and they enable HR to do what it's best at and IT to do what it's best at. So it's been great because it brings HR and IT together.
So let's say you are a HR manager at a smaller organization that is looking to
Mhm.
grow and whatnot, and you're looking to get better at your own people analytics skills. Um, Beyond looking at Visier and the wonderful resources that you put out there, how does someone even get started with trying to get in front of these problems with their organizations?
Well, I mean, look, it has never been easier to be curious. And by the way, I think that's the most important thing for a company to be successful at AI. It has to have and work transformation. It has to have a culture where people are curious and take a first principles approach to re-engineering work and thinking about what they do. Right. So let's park that. Same thing for HR people. You want to be good at people analytics. You want to be good at workforce intelligence. You want to be good at building business cases and explaining business impact. Be curious. But all you got to do is get that data together and start to look for patterns with your left hand, but ask business questions with your right hand, right? The where people get stalled is they think it's all about the data. It isn't. It's about, and the purpose of people analytics isn't to answer questions, it's to get everyone to ask better questions because it's a cycle of appreciative inquiry. So if you're a small manager, if you're a company, if you're a manager at a small company, ask the big question: what would make our company grow faster? Which roles make the biggest difference in revenue growth? What are the differences between the highest, mediocre, and worst performers in those critical roles? What was the training profile and hiring profile? And it's, again, you're pulling the thread on the sweater until you understand what's underneath it. And it's that mindset. That's how you get started in people analytics.
I love it. Stay curious, ask questions, and you never had as many tools as you have now to ask questions about anything. I'm at the point where, like, so I have Gemini on my phone, and I can, look at plants. I can look at different things and be like, "What the heck is this?" And it will tell me what it is. And so, like, it's amazing the
Oh,
tools that
it's
are.
amazing, right? I tell you, we went through one of the most stressful things evidently a couple can do, which is a home renovation.
So,
Because there's lots of decisions to make. I just built a model that showed where the light was going to come through the different windows at different times of day, so that we could pick the colors, what color goes with what material, etc. Huge time saver. Amazing use of AI.
awesome. Well, I love it. If anyone wants to find out more about Paul, check him out on LinkedIn. Oh,
Yeah.
that's something.
Mike, you can follow me on LinkedIn. You can also follow my Substack, where I have long form articles that talk about, um, you know, what is your AI intention and the difference in the models. We go a lot into helping people understand the intelligent service delivery model, which is the future of HR, but also get into the economics of it and understanding what is changing and what should CHROs be tracking in order to keep pace with workforce transformation. And you can catch me at the Gartner conferences in Orlando and the UK, as well as HR Tech and lots of other podcasts and stuff like yours.
Yeah. So you're pretty much you're my camera's. There we go. I got a little bit
There
of
you go.
resolution back. So you're pretty much on tour this fall.
Oh
Uh,
my. Well, anybody in HR Tech is on tour this fall, right? That's it's
yeah.
it's the season. I'll see you in Vegas, right, Mike?
Yeah. Well, so I'll be in Vegas, but I think HR Tech Europe is like the same week this year for some reason, or it's close. So I'll be there, and then I'm at RecFest as well in Nashville, which is a good. That's a good trip.
So it's interesting, like the market, like if you work in HR right now, follow the tech. It is a good indicator of how competitive the world is getting for the best talent once again. And I think it's not just about the cost and efficiency. We're entering a cycle where it's not just about the cost and efficiency of the HR function. It's about unlocking the potential of people. And that really excites me. If you follow the direction that the AI is taking, bringing in more science, which I love, right? Bring in our behavioral economists, bring in our industrial psychologists, bring in our sociologists, help understand human behavior and make that science accessible to everybody in HR and beyond HR. That's where a lot of the exciting tech for me is happening.
Awesome.
So
Well,
follow that and your HR career will be bulletproof.
awesome. Well, thanks, Paul, and please check out Visier on LinkedIn, and I will see you at HR Tech this fall.
See you there.
Thanks for tuning in to the Totally Talent podcast by HR.com. We hope you find today's episode insightful and inspiring. Don't forget to explore more episodes and discover valuable resources at hr.com/podcasts, where you can listen to all of our podcasts. Until next time, keep leading with purpose and making a difference in the world of talent.